Good morning, world!
What up, what up, what up?
It's your boy Rodney.
It's Jamal.
And Kaiser.
And we are
Under construction.
Today is the special Father's Day episode.
Happy Father's Day.
Shout out to the fathers, Mr. Kaiser and our staff.
Happy Father's Day,
Happy
sir.
Father's Day, sir.
I cannot wait to yell at my kids when they wake up. That's what Father's Day is all about. Yelling at the children.
No breakfast in bed for you.
I know.
No big pissy chicken,
No.
dog.
You get the legs. But we have a jam-packed episode for this Father's Day special day. We're going to talk about the NBA. More specifically, we have some Hornets news. Apparently, Kemba Walker is the top target of these Los Angeles Lakers, the franchise that gets to fail up. So, guys, how do you feel about that? I'm gonna let you go first, guys. I think you got some fire behind you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Who, me? Hey, what? Hey.
Nah, I'm gonna let
I
you
don't-
say
Alright,
that.
so-
fire.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
All right, so I'll just say just a few points I've been regurgitating over the past week, and I don't think the situation with Kemba changes much with the Anthony Davis trade, because let's be honest, we all expected the Anthony Davis trade to go through,
yeah.
right? So it doesn't change, that the Lakers were going to go after Kemba if they felt they couldn't get Kyrie. That is an important point, and I think Kemba Walker knows that. He is not the Lakers' first choice. He's probably not any team's first choice when it comes to top-tier point guards in the NBA. Teams are going to go after Kyrie first, and if they can't go after Kyrie, they're going to go after Kemba.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not lost on him.
Right.
Secondly, Kemba Walker over the last 2 weeks has made the strongest statements he has ever made about his position of free agency. Typically, he's been very non-committal on it. Hey, I'm excited. This is my first time being a real free agent. We're gonna let the process play out. But given the statements he made while in China and the statement that he made recently, he wants to be a Charlotte Hornet, and I think all the Hornets have to do is pay that man and have a good plan, and I think that he is going to stay.
Come with that bag, Charlotte.
Yes. And he also said he'd be willing to take a pay cut.
How many athletes have you ever heard publicly say that?
Never.
If I'm Kimba's agent, I'm pissed that he said that.
Right, yeah.
Of course. Of course.
That just
glad you
leads
brought
me
that up.
to my final point is that everyone says, well, Kemba, how serious is he about really wanting to win? If he really wants to win, he'll go to LA.
Go to LA.
Winning is important to Kemba, but you know what's more important? The Charlotte Hornets winning as a member of the Charlotte Hornets, because his whole career from high school, it's all been about what he couldn't do.
Yeah.
This guy backpacked UConn. You're a Huskies fan,
Right.
He backpacked them to a national title, and the narrative was, well, he's too small for the NBA. He can shoot the mid range, but he can't shoot the three when he gets to the NBA. So he gets to the NBA, averages 11 points a game as a rookie on historically the worst team of all time, sticks with it, and continuously every year has improved statistically in almost every major category.
Right.
Now he's one of the elite 3-point threats in the league. Kemba doesn't want to ride anyone's coattails. He don't want to go be associated with someone else winning a championship, because if he goes to LA, let's say he goes to LA and he still averages 25 points a game.
Right.
The narrative is not going to be about Kemba.
It's going to be about LeBron.
It's going to be about LeBron and AD. So you're trying to tell me Kemba is going to turn down $80 million to go be a third option on another team?
Right.
I'm not sure.
So let me ask you a question. So if I'm just a casual fan of the NBA and he turns down $80 million, am I wrong for just saying that he doesn't prioritize winning? Because to play with LeBron James in most circumstances is like the opportunity of a lifetime. It's like a guaranteed playoff and finals appearance.
Well, if you are a casual fan, the chances are that you would prefer to see that, because you're probably a Lakers fan if you're a casual fan. That's number one.
That's true.
However, with that being said, it's fair to think that. But the thing is, that's a loaded question, because, again, we got to think it is from Kemba Walker's perspective.
Gotcha.
If you're a casual fan, yeah, that makes perfect sense. If you're a Kemba Walker, like all the points Tyrone just alluded to, you want to win here. And that's what people can't understand. That's what the average casual fan just can't understand. Why do you want to stay in Charlotte? They've never built the team around you. Michael Jordan is this, blah, 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 blah. Which is a point I wanted to get to. Here's what's lost in this whole discussion about Kemba Walker and the Charlotte Hornets. Now, Charlotte Hornets fans don't have a lot of faith in the organization. That's fair. I'm not even going to get on you. I'm not even going to get on people about not having faith. But the thing about that is, here's what people are understating. Michael Jordan and Kemba Walker are two of the most competitive people you will ever meet in your entire lives. I think they are built very similarly.
Gotcha.
They know they've struggled. Both of those guys know the struggles of the organization. Do you think, coming from Michael Jordan, Mitch Kupchak, and Kemba Walker's perspective, that they want things to stay the same? And I'm talking to fans who all week on social media have regurgitated the same thing. Well, you're not going to win if you stay there. You're not going to win if you stay there. What they are discrediting and discounting is that Michael Jordan has already taken a step of firing Rich Cho. Yeah. He's already taken a step of hiring somebody he thinks he can trust in Mitch Kupchak. We're not even at the draft yet. We're not at free agency yet. We don't know what's going to change or what's not going to change. Mm-hmm. That is unknown. Here's one thing I am 130% confident and sure of. I am 100% sure Michael Jordan, Mitch Kupchak, and the Charlotte Hornets are going to do everything in their power to improve this roster. Okay. Does that mean it's going to work out? That does not mean everything's going to work out like they wanted to. But I promise everybody out there that's lost faith in the organization, you don't think we're going to be any higher than the AC, which is fair. I guarantee everybody out there, they are going to try their best to get this thing changed around, and they will be very aggressive about doing so.
Okay. I thought all Michael Jordan did was drink Hennessy,
and he doesn't
build prisons.
You know what? I forgot, man. Michael Jordan,
refurbished Jordan.
And you know what? I forgot, man. He invested $200 million of his own money, but he doesn't really care because all he cares about is making money.
Hey, he's a cheapskate.
He
never paid anybody except Nick Batum and Michael Kidd
and Cody Zeller and Marvin Williams, who's like $81 million tied up in those players, but he's cheap. Yeah. So
So let me ask you a question. So in the upcoming draft on the 20th, which is Thursday, we have the 12th pick. What do you guys feel as though we should do with that pick? Should we trade it? Keep it?
We know. Me and Jamal feel the same way about it.
Well, tell us how you feel.
We have both been on the trade the pick train. That was funny. Trade the trick. Trade the pick train for the longest time. We have not gotten off that train yet. Trade that pick for a known commodity if it's possible. Now, the report is Mitch is trying to move up in the draft, and I don't know if I'm really excited about it because I don't know if there's much separation between the 4th pick and the 12th pick. Mm-hmm. To me, it's a pretty weak draft in my opinion. Yeah. So I don't know.
I got killed for saying that, guys.
It is what it is, though. Yeah. But it's pretty obvious that the Hornets need a difference maker. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you get that if you move up in the draft.
Yeah, the 12th pick isn't going to help the Hornets, whoever they draft, unless they pull a rabbit out of their hat and get a Klay Thompson or a Kawhi Leonard or Gian. Unless they do something like that, 12th pick's not going to help. Historically, one all-star out of the 12 picks out of the last 30 years, Mookie Blaylock. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We're coming with some heat this morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
That's not to say that any of the other guys picked at 12 were bad. It's just that they weren't huge impact. Right. Yeah. They're not the kind of guy you want if you're rebuilding your franchise and you would rather have a known player commodity, someone in the league who has contributed, someone like a Eric Gordon, or Clint Capella. That's who the Hornets need. It's like, we know what that guy can bring, rather than and now Miles Bridges was picked at number 12, not really technically, but we use the 12th pick to get Miles Bridges, and he looks like that he might break the 12th pick curse, but it may. But we'll see. But having said that, I mean, there's just not a lot for the Hornets at the 12th pick, and it's certainly not a lot above the 4th pick.
Got you. So if we stay at the 12th pick, what's a player that you're intrigued by?
There are two players who do intrigue me if we do decide to stay at the pick. Jackson Hayes is one thing, but I fear that he'll be gone by the time we get to 12. Gotcha. But if he's there, we need to take a long, hard look at him. Athletic, big, rim protector. Good Lord, who doesn't know the Hornets don't need that? Another guy that I'm looking at is my man Bruno Fernando from Maryland. Same build, really big. I'm talking about this dude is built like a tank, man. I worry about his skill set. He's a little raw. You know how I feel about Charlotte Hornets organization drafting people who you need to coach up, supposedly. Right, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But physically, he is very intriguing at that pick. Our mock draft has us taking PJ Washington from Kentucky. Don't do it. Run away. Just run away.
My mock drafts always have Charlotte teams picking the worst
Kentucky player.
Historically speaking,
I think you've answered your own question on that one.
Rex Chapman was the last good Kentucky player we had. But for me, I actually like Kevin Porter Jr. I actually like him from USC. He intrigues me.
Yeah, actually, that's a good.
And then I also like Cam Reddish.
I'm glad you said that.
Like if we were to actually trade up, I'm intrigued by Cam Reddish.
I am too, man.
I honestly think he played such a backseat role. He didn't know what his role was last year, dude. And he's a big shooter.
I'm gonna say this, man, about Cam Reddish. Just like you said, he played the backseat to Zion and RJ, and. You know, I think it was these are freshmen we're talking about. Let's not understate this, man. I think it's really hard. It was hard for that dude to get into a groove, for lack of a better term. Yeah. Could never get into a consistent rhythm because you had two very ball dominant guys on that same Duke team. I like Cam Reddish's potential and his talent, man. I'm with you on that, man.
I think Cam Reddish only works depending on how the Jeremy Lamb situation shakes out.
And Malik Monk, as much as we're kind of sour on him, but
hey, he could have
trade that. Trade that 12 and Malik for Cam Reddish.
I don't know. I wouldn't make that. I actually wouldn't make that deal. And I've been kind of critical of Malik. I wouldn't make that deal.
I'm still not ready to give up on Monk. I know Rodney.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just not ready to give up.
I'm willing to give him.
Throw in the towel.
Yeah, I'm willing. I understand that the biggest red flag for Malik Monk for me was that he didn't really improve between his first season and the second season
with two coaches.
He was so. If you look at someone like Kemba Walker, his improvement from his rookie season to his second season was huge. Dwayne Bacon, I mean, look at
how many coaches has Kemba Walker had?
Like four,
5,
yeah,
4. Yeah.
So
and also with me, a big thing with Malik and Frank. I didn't want Frank either. The biggest part is wanting to be here. Both of them did not want to be here.
That's important.
And so, like, you're ready to come in with a tainted perspective. Okay, I'm not gonna really like Charlotte. I'm just gonna play through this contract and I'm leaving.
Right.
And so that I'm like, well, you don't want to be here. I don't want you.
But to be fair, I think a lot of young guys feel that way. We saw the look on Zion's face when New Orleans got the first pick. And although, to be fair, him and his representatives publicly made a statement that, hey, we can't wait to play in New Orleans. But we saw a look on his face.
Right.
So I'm not gonna knock Malik or Frank.
He had that Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
The look of my ass face.
So, but I like Cam Reddish, but like I said, it's just going to depend on how that Jeremy Lamb situation. And honestly,
which nobody's talking about enough.
Nobody, yeah. You know what I mean? So for those who don't know how the salary cap works, which is
a lot of most
of the NBA fans.
All right, so the Hornets are pressed up against the cap. If they did nothing, if they just stood as they were, they'd be around $5 to $7 million. I don't know the exact number. About $7 million.
Over the cap.
Actually under the cap. That's if they did nothing, but they will do something. They will probably make a qualifying offer to Frank Kaminsky of $5 million. Teams always do that. Other teams are gonna want Frank, and they're not gonna match.
Contrary to fan belief.
Yeah, people don't think, but you tell me the Houston Rockets don't want Frank Kaminsky, or
Milwaukee, Dallas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the Hornets would not match that offer, but that would still be $5 million they'd have to put up. So they're about $1 million under the cap. So whether they sign Kemba or not, which is something this is lost on a lot of our fans, it doesn't change our cap situation as far as being under the soft cap. because we have bird rights on Kemba and Lamb.
Right.
We can pay them whatever we want and go over the cap as long as we're not into the luxury tax, which is $132 million. So if Kemba stays true to his word and takes considerably less to stay, then the Hornets would potentially have enough money to re-sign Jeremy Lamb under bird rights without hitting the luxury tax.
Right.
So if we do that, I'm not sure a Cam Reddish would be a good move. I know that we would, we draft before
because
free
if
agency,
anything else, it creates a cluster.
It does.
Yeah,
and we already have a cluster with Monk, Graham,
Bacon,
Batum. Yeah, we were just jam packed at the wing, and really we need in the NBA. You got to have a standout wing. You must to win. You must, and we don't have that yet. So it's like,
with that being said, with all that being said, because you mentioned that we currently do have a cluster at wing as it stands right now. We have too many wings as it stands right now. So that even makes it even more interesting come draft time, because it wouldn't be shocking to any of us if one of those guys got dealt. Hopefully it's Nick Batum, but we won't hold our breath on that one. But I've said the same thing over and over again all season. We will know more about this team come, Thursday night draft time? Night, yeah. We will know more about this team Thursday night, man.
All right. So if Mitch were to trade up, say for the 4th pick, he would have to contact the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, I thought it was the Lakers.
Oh no, they made a big,
did they do something yesterday?
Blockbuster trade. They picked up Mr. Anthony Davis.
Is that the guy with the
unibrow
that we could have had, but the NBA screwed us up?
No, that guy.
Okay.
Fun fact. The Hornets have a better record than the Pelicans do since they drafted Anthony Davis.
Really?
Which is
how's that possible?
I don't. Yeah,
because we're the worst franchise.
And Anthony Davis is a game changer though. But it just goes to illustrate that you can't win by yourself in the NBA.
No doubt.
But whereas no one really talked about the Pelicans being like this lost friend. Oh man, they're terrible. They need to trade Anthony Davis to get better, but yet we need to let Kemba walk in the free agency to get better. I don't understand how that works. So
let's talk about the framework of this deal. So the Lakers gave up Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, 2019 first, 2021 first.
The ticket takers, the usher,
cheerleaders,
the cheerleaders,
Magic Johnson.
They already gave up Magic a long time ago. And then like swap rights for 2 years, 2023, 2025, which is underrated. Yeah. Because LeBron will be 40 in 2025.
Yeah.
But how do you guys feel about this trade? You love this new super team?
I'll go first because I know Jamal.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Because boy, oh boy. Ooh, let me drink some of this.
Yeah. Get you a few swigs. So, talk about going all in.
Mm-hmm.
That's you must win a championship next season.
It's the only way.
Yes.
It's the only way it's justified.
You must win next year. I posted this earlier on my Facebook page, and there was a lot of contention over this rather unpopular belief, but I am not a big fan of making other teams in your conference stronger just because you think you might win a championship. I mean, okay, yeah, we got LeBron James, and everyone knows LeBron James is almost an instant ticket to the finals, but he wasn't last year, and there's no guarantee he's going to be this year in the West. Right. The West is last year to me, or this past season proved how difficult the West is. LeBron James could have taken that Lakers team to the finals in the East, but in the West,
it's a different
ball game. So the Lakers made the Pels really good on paper, and I understand they're going to be a young team and there's no guarantee. Right. But if Zion is, even if he's not quite as good as people say he's going to be, let's say he's just Blake Griffin good or Charles Barkley good, that's still pretty good.
Really good.
So you take him. You already got Drew Holiday. You already got and you're going to get the 4th pick. And
this year,
Ja Morant, or
it's almost like they have more assets than they probably know what to do with. Seriously.
Exactly. Yeah. They're going to have a very, very good team on paper who could be dangerous in the West.
Yeah,
and,
no doubt.
And just imagine, the Lakers getting knocked out of the playoffs by, the team that they empower. It really hinges on how good you think Zion is going to be. And that's my only thing with the trade. Like, man, you guys made the Pels really, really good. Even if the Pels aren't good this year, you've set them up. They don't have to do anything for the next 5 years, honestly.
They can seriously trade Drew Holiday for assets as well, which is crazy.
Yeah,
and they can set themselves up for the next 5
and they have
years.
enough cap space. Pels fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but with AD leaving, they now have enough cap space for a max contract or close to one.
That's crazy, man.
So they could mess around and get Kevin Durant.
Needless to say, they came out pretty damn good in this trade, man. Especially for somebody who didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? So
so more props to them.
So LeBron gets his way. How do you guys feel about that? Come on, Jamal. Let the hate out your heart.
Let me tell you something, man.
Mecklenburg Hornets, Lakers fans.
So yesterday was a beautiful day. Weather was perfect. I was out and about driving around. I was like, man, I was at peace. I was really relaxed yesterday. Notification pops up on my phone. Breaking news. Anthony Davis goes to the Lakers. No shock to anyone. Mm-hmm. Everybody saw it coming. Rich Paul, who, they have the same agent and, they want to take over the NBA because they're all friends, whatever. I knew what I was going to get on social media. It was one of the most annoying days I have ever had in my life. I hate the Lakers more than I hate paying taxes. And specifically, I hate Charlotte Lakers fans. They are the bane of my sports existence. I don't really have anything against the Los Angeles Lakers. I hate Charlotte Lakers fans.
Are they worse than Charlotte Cowboys fans?
But nobody's never worse than them. Come on, let's be.
That's the worst. Yeah,
it's the worst ever.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, there goes my piece for the next 3 years. Now, what really got me, what really kind of settled me a little bit is the first thing I thought was, well, you traded half your team and you don't really have a roster. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do to fix that? Because you have no assets, you have half a roster, mm-hmm. you have a very relatively short window to win a championship because it's the only way this trade is justified. You have to win a championship if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. That's the only way this trade makes sense.
Facts, son.
You know what I mean? So I tried my best to not really speak about the trade because believe it or not, I really did not want to say anything until I got tagged 47 times on Facebook yesterday. I really did not want to say anything. Okay. And the reason I didn't want to say anything because we have not even hit the draft yet. We have not hit free agency yet. There is so many pieces to everybody's puzzle that are not complete yet. You got LeBron James, the superstar that supposedly he's never played with, but people forget that, the whole Miami thing, but whatever. So you finally got him his star. You finally got him the help you think he needs. Cool. How about the bench depth for the Lakers? How about the fact that you don't have a point guard, which we're going to talk about really soon? Mm-hmm. God help me with that damn discussion. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so needless to say, the Mecklenburg County Lakers fans, you're really excited right now. However, make sure these pieces to the puzzle are complete before you really get excited.
I think Golden State this season proved to be a bit of a cautionary tale. You can top load your team to its detriment.
Yeah.
Right.
Although I think the narrative that Golden State's bench wasn't that good was a little bit overstated, but they weren't as deep as they were when they won 73 games in the season before. And, you lose Kevin Durant. Okay, now you got a dogfight in your hands. You lose Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson. And Anthony Davis isn't like the most durable superstar out there.
Right.
So
and how durable is LeBron James at 35 years old?
We forget he missed part of last season with an injury. The first time in his career he had missed a significant portion of time. And as if you're 22 or 23 and you get an injury like that, okay, it'll be fine too. But when you're 32, 33, well, that's a different story.
Takes a lot more time to recover.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of uncertainty here. with the Lakers. Plus, like we said before, they're in the Western Conference.
Right.
It's not gonna be easy.
I have a question that just popped up in my brain. How do you compare this trade to the Brooklyn Nets trade when they went all in for, title? It's not. Is it quite the same?
No, it's not the same.
Not quite the same, right?
Because Pierce and Garnett were past their prime.
Right.
I mean, Davis is still in his prime.
Yeah.
He's only like 26, which is freaking insane.
Yeah, that is right.
And then like, what could hurt them is those pick swaps in 2023 and 2025. Because I can legit see New Orleans being probably a contender by that point. If they manage things right. That's but I have faith in Griffin.
But
though.
I'm disclaimer. I'm not a huge Lonzo Ball fan, but I just feel my only thing is he wasn't the second pick. He wasn't second pick worthy. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's a NBA ready player. He can do a lot of things on the court.
Very good defensively.
Very good defensive player. He sees the court well. He just can't shoot. Okay, so but other than that, he's NBA ready. Mm-hmm. So Brandon Ingram, I felt like was probably the best young guy on that Lakers squad. He could score. He had a lot of breakout games. So now they're on. You put them on the Pels. I'm just saying, man.
I will say this. There's one thing that's being lost in this. I hate giving the Lakers any credit for anything, but they came out like bandits keeping Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah,
let's be very clear.
That's true.
That. Lakers fans, I mean the real ones in LA, not our Charlotte ones, but the Lakers fans who are real fans, thank your lucky stars you kept Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. That because if I'm the Pelicans. And who knows what happened? We're not insiders. I don't know what happened in that conversation. But if I'm the Pelicans, I'm trying hard to.
That was probably a LeBron override.
Yeah,
I think there had been talk that Kuzma was kind of like Bron's favorite.
Yeah,
and Kobe's dog too.
So I think that probably had a lot to do with it. Plus, if you're the Pels, I mean. Ingram and Ball and a number 4 pick. And first of all, that's enough right there.
That's enough, right? You can stop right there, really. Yeah,
and
right.
Had 2 first-round picks,
right?
And then pick swaps. It's like you got more than enough.
Right.
So let's play some role play. Pause. So I'm Kemba Walker. It's June the 30th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Playing 2K.
I'm playing 2K with my brothers at the house in Uptown Charlotte. I get a phone call from the Lakers, the Mavericks, and the Hornets and the Pacers. Who do I answer first? And what is your pitch to me as a Lakers fan? If you're a Lakers fan, what is your pitch to me as a Mav? What is your pitch to me as a Hornet?
I'll play the role of Hornets because it hurts me too much to play the role of any of those.
Well, I'll be the villain. I'll be the Lakers.
I'll be the Hornets. So
I'll be the agent.
All right.
So. Hey, this is LeBron James, the GM of the Los Angeles Lakers. Come play with me, bro. We got Anthony Davis.
Click.
You can live in LA. You can live in LA. I got all the thotties out here. What else you want? What else you want me? Look, you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, man. You can live in LA. All right, so
let me tell you this.
Look.
My client, Kemba Walker.
We have $32 million in cap space.
My client, Kemba Walker, essentially took 1 pay cut already to stay in Charlotte. He has 80 million extra reasons. The most you could possibly offer him is $140 million over 4 years. You've got to come with more than the LA. My client's from the Bronx. He's from the Bronx. He don't care about California living. $80 million. What can you guarantee a championship for Kemba Walker?
Well, I can guarantee you multiple playoff appearances, more than you've had in Charlotte. So also
in the Western Conference,
in the West,
Kemba Walker doesn't care about the playoffs. But just going to the playoffs.
But what I can offer you is if you win a championship in LA with me, I can put you in Space Jam 2. I can get you multiple deals. You can get more endorsement deals than you do in Charlotte.
You realize my boss is Michael Jordan, right? That is my employer. Is Michael Jordan, the king of endorsements.
We'll report him because he's offering you money under the table. I'm LeBron James. We get stuff done. You can sign a clutch. We'll set you up for life. Come to LA, bro.
Hey, this is Kemba Walker. Living in Charlotte does not discount me from doing all those things anyway. If I wanted to do those things, I probably could have already because, as mentioned, Michael Jordan is my boss. I'm sure he has connections. If I wanted those endorsements, if I wanted that kind of attention, if I wanted to be a face outside of basketball, I'm Kemba Walker. I care about basketball. I love this town, Charlotte. I know everybody looks at, there's no Charlotte, LA comparison. I get it, but I love this town. You know what? I actually love the fans. I have mentioned over and over again how I want to change this around because of the fans. By the way, that's a real quote, by the way. I'm not making this up. And on top of all that, $80 million. You know how much I can help my family with $80 million?
So, have fun in Charlotte playing in front of 14,000 fans on a Monday night.
14,000 fans who I love.
You can love them all you want, but I have all these thotties out here in LA. Kobe lets you use the private jet if you want to. You can live out in Malibu on the beach.
Hey man, I'm from.
Hey man, you
admittedly, there is an allure to playing in Los Angeles, not just playing in Los Angeles, but you're playing for one of the most prestigious NBA franchises
ever.
Or not just NBA, sports franchises ever. And they're essentially going to ask you, hey, we need your help. There's an allure to that. And if Kemba says, you know what, I'm going to take it, more power to him. No one is going to blame him. No one in Charlotte is going to hate him. There will be no jersey burning.
I'll slap you, jersey burning.
If I see somebody burn a Kemba Walker jersey, y'all, I'm a military veteran, and you can burn a flag, but you burn a Kemba Walker jersey, we might be fighting, dog. So there's no, I couldn't blame him for that. I would want him to stay in Charlotte, but I couldn't blame him for the allure of going to the Lakers. But based on what we've heard Kemba Walker say, I don't think that matters to him.
I don't either. So, I mean, I have faith in Mitch, but Kemba. That's a lot to pass up. Playing in LA with LeBron and AD. I mean, that's legitimately you're not gonna be double teamed.
Hey,
anymore.
guess what? You know what else is a lot to pass up?
$80 million.
$80 million is a lot to pass up too.
I've heard people say on the internet that they would turn down $80 million to play for a championship.
Y'all so damn mind.
Y'all crazy.
Y'all must be crazy. Y'all must be crazy.
Especially considering it would be different if it was like, say, Kevin Durant, who took a pay cut when he was a free agent to go play for Golden State. Kevin Durant already makes a ton of money. He already made a ton of money in endorsements and his previous contract from OKC. Kemba Walker is one of the lowest paid Hornets. That is not even an exaggeration. He's one of the lowest paid Hornets. The Hornets actually lowballed him his first go round after his rookie contract. His agent didn't want to accept the lowball offer, and Kemba Walker overrode his agent.
That's true, but also we have to put facts behind this because people are going to take that the wrong way.
Right, yeah.
We have to mention the fact that the NBA market drastically changed and the salary cap is way higher than what it was at that time.
That is true.
I just feel like we have to say it because somebody's going to take that statement and be like, man, you see, I told you Jordan was cheap. Like, no, y'all, the market was drastically different.
That is true. But Kemba himself even said he felt like $11 million, which is what the Hornets offered him at the time, was fair for, his play. Mm-hmm. Whether or not it was, that may have been true at the time, but Kemba Walker developed into really, he's an all NBA player.
Right.
So an all NBA player making $12 million is criminal, and you have a chance to go from making $12 million a year to $44 million a year.
Right.
It's a hell of a pay.
The allure of LA is not.
You have that much money. You can go to LA anytime you want to.
Exactly.
Man. It'll be there in the offseason.
Also, to be fair, another fact, I don't think the Hornets will pay, and Kemba will not ask for $221 million. He's not going to ask for the entire Supermax.
Right.
He said he'll take less. We don't know how much that means. That could mean, is that $250
regular max?
But I think $190 to $200 million is enough to get it done. Mm-hmm. And that's still $50 million more than any other team could pay him.
Right. Now, there's something that just popped up in my mind, man. And the thing is, I think it's fair to say that Kemba Walker, when it comes to these negotiations and how he's kind of approaching free agency, it appears like he's not a big egomaniac when it comes to this. But here's something that I just thought about. Man, it's simple, dude. If Mike Conley is getting $31 million, he's at least got to get that. He's at least got to get that. That is on the low end of what Kemba Walker should get going into these
Chris
negotiations.
Paul's gonna make like $45 million last year.
Man, listen, dude, come on, man.
Also,
Chris Paul is broke down.
To me, bigger than that, we paid Nick Batum.
Hey, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Look, I'm drinking beer right now. I do not want to get more emotional than I already am.
Yeah, you can't. You cannot pay Nick Batum the max and then flake out on Kemba Walker.
It's not ethically right.
Yes, you cannot.
Just can't do that.
And personally, I think this is going to be a super unpopular opinion. If that means making your franchise worse, you have to do that.
Yeah.
The reason being is players know.
Yeah.
They'll remember that. A free agent potentially wants so because in 2 years from now the Hornets will have $64 million in cap space.
Right.
Okay. Any potential free agents that we have come, they're gonna look at how we handled Kemba Walker.
Right.
Oh, you paid Nick Batum, but you didn't pay Kemba Walker?
Which is an interesting point because, we have all this big money right now tied up in the wrong guys. And I think that was a part of the reason why, because the perception, and let me be very clear, the perception was, well, they're cheap. They're not going to give you contracts, blah, blah, blah. And I think the brass at the Hornets said, well, we got to take care of our guys. And we went a little bit too far with doing that, which is why there's $81 million tied up in the wrong guys.
Let's be fair with something like the Marvin Williams contract. Marvin Williams actually had a really good season
when he signed it.
When he signed it, so I think the Hornets thought, okay, he can contribute. And like we said before, the new CBA had come out. There was a big cap spike because of the new TNT deal. So he came up and it's hard for me to justify the Cody Zeller and MKG contracts, honestly.
Very hard.
As much as I defend Cody Zeller, I'm not sure. I think we could have got his production elsewhere.
Let me say something about that. Look at market rate for the centers.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Because if you go back and look at it, Gorgie Jang signed for like 16, 17 million.
Right,
Timothy Mozgov. Look at
Mozgov.
Look at Bismack's contract.
Yeah.
Like centers are generally overpaid. You know what I mean?
Right. And the Batum contract, something else that Hornets fans do not want to hear. He had played very well.
That dude was a walk-in. He was a threat to get a triple-double every game, dude.
15, 6, 7 consistently.
Yeah.
And he was a highly sought-after free agent.
Yep.
Golden State had pretty much said, if we can't get Kevin Durant, we coming for Nick Batum.
Yep.
So the Hornets had to do something. You can't just, let's say they had let Nick Batum walk and he goes to Golden State and wins championships. The rhetoric would have been, man, Jordan cheap.
I told you Jordan was cheap, man.
I can't believe,
I told you he wasn't
invest in the prisons, but won't invest in Batum.
Yeah, so
He sell a lot of shoes, man. How come he can't pay nobody, dog?
so the Hornets gambled on Batum and they lost. So you got to pay Kemba. You at least have to make the offer.
Yeah.
And then whatever Kemba decides after that, Godspeed.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna jump into our shout out segment.
I got one more thing. One more thing I gotta talk about.
Yeah. Let's talk.
I gotta talk about the post finals rhetoric.
Good Lord have mercy, man.
So the NBA finals actually was a pretty good NBA finals. Injuries did mar it some, unfortunately, but we had some exciting games, and congratulations to Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors, on winning the first ever NBA championship. Now that that's out of the way. Apparently, I didn't realize this, but Steph Curry is trash. Apparently, he's the worst player.
Overpaid. Yeah. Overrated.
Worst player to ever play in the finals, apparently.
Yep. He trash.
Even though his 26.5 points per game scoring average in 5 NBA finals is 10th highest in history, more than Bird, Magic, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dwayne Wade. I mean, the list just goes on. More 3-pointers attempted and made than any other players in finals history. Highest 3-point percentage in NBA finals history. I mean, I could just go on. Well, he didn't win the MVP in 2015. They gave it to Andre Iguodala because he held LeBron James to 38 points a game. But Steph's 26 points a game
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Nah.
So this year he averaged what, 32?
30, yeah.
Yeah.
32?
Had
6 and
40,
6?
had 49 points, 47 points in game 3. Oh, but he missed a last second double team 30-foot 3-pointer that would have, sent it to game 7. He's trash.
Never mind his superstar teammate was out. So he got so much attention from the Raptors and faced constant traps and double teams.
Hey, they still have 3 other All-Stars on that floor. Like Iguodala, he was an All-Star back in 2010, man. Like I mean, Cousins never injured his Achilles. He never got hurt in the playoffs.
Never had a quad injury.
And Draymond is a prolific scorer, man. You know that?
I don't get it. I understand. This is one of the things we here at Under Construction try not to do, and that is engage in hot take culture.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while we'll have an unpopular opinion, but I think a lot of these quote unquote journalists, even big time ones at the big networks, they will make these takes to generate controversy because they know that it sells. It sells.
And you get clicks off of it.
Yeah, Steph Curry is one of the most famous NBA players currently. Honestly, next to LeBron James, he probably is. He is transcendent, which is, I think, one of the reasons
Steph Curry literally changed basketball in a modern age of basketball. Man.
The game is played completely different because you got a guy that can pull up from 35 feet like it's a free throw, a guy that you have to guard as soon as he comes over half court. But he trashed because he didn't win an NBA Finals. So I don't
understand it, man.
LeBron is 3-5.
Yeah,
he's 3-5 in the finals. 3-6. No, 3-6.
3-6. Yeah, I mean,
Steph is
3-2. Yeah, so I just feel like I know. To be fair, when all said and done, 20 years from now, whenever Steph Curry retires, we're gonna forget the details. Steph Curry is gonna go down as a great player, maybe top 20, maybe top 10, depending on. 20, he's gonna continue to shatter 3-point records and score a lot of points. So. But it's just
and sometimes, man, when it comes to these hot take discussions and people just kind of being in the moment without telling the whole story, what gets lost in that is how come you just can't get the other team credit sometimes?
Exactly.
Like how come you just can't say, you know what, man, Serge Ibaka, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, and Kyle Lowry in a couple of games all gave Kawhi Leonard plenty of help. More than Steph Curry got with the Golden State Warriors.
I don't even think Kawhi Leonard played a great series.
He played a good series. He was Kawhi.
He was Kawhi Leonard.
He was Kawhi.
But he never.
But I just think people are not giving those guys I just mentioned enough credit, man.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Pascal was
Pascal Siakam was a surprise.
Come on, man.
He for game 1 and game 6, he was probably the best player on the floor
easily.
For the Raptors.
And why Kawhi, if the Raptors won, Kawhi was going to get MVP by default,
right?
Really, the story of the game was not Kawhi Leonard, of the series was not Kawhi Leonard. It was Fred VanVleet. It was
how did the world did I forget him?
Pascal
man? What is wrong with me,
Siakam. It was these
Lowry.
guys, and that's getting lost. Kawhi Leonard, they expected Steph Curry to be dominant, but when Kawhi Leonard wasn't dominant, he's getting a lot of credit for not being dominant.
And here's the thing, man. We talked about Nick Nurse. Hey man, light skin privilege, though. Anyway, we talked a little about Nick Nurse off camera, and it's, I guess between us three, it's a mixed bag because Nick Nurse made some bad choices toward the end of some of those games.
Blue game 5.
However, at the same token, man, you have got to give this dude credit for how prepared they were defensively against the Warriors.
Definitely.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but holding the Golden State Warriors under 100 points is no easy task. I don't care who's hurting, who's out there, whatever. You know what I mean? And just his defensive schemes and his willingness to try some crazy things, boxing one in the NBA Finals when you haven't really ran it.
Defense,
you know what I'm saying? But
it worked.
But it worked. You get what I'm saying? And it just goes back to not giving enough credit outside of just bashing Steph Curry for no reason whatsoever.
You done hit that 3 with 3 people on you, dude.
Right. Come on, man.
You made the correct play.
And plus it was, a lot of these journalists, they make these, their career is predicated on how accurate they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is them thumping their chest. See, we told you so. We been saying that Steph Curry comes up small in the finals, and he did it again. Even though he was the only really offensive threat on the floor, and Toronto was not coming out of that box and won. Because to be fair, I know it's a junk defense. Steph Curry himself called it janky, but the reason it works is because it is designed to if you got one guy
doing something,
then and really that's
Charlotte Hornets fans. We saw a boxing one against the New Jersey
Thank you.
Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
Twice.
Multiple times. Yeah.
Because we didn't have anybody but Kemba. So
Steph got the Curry treatment. I mean, Steph got the Kemba
He got the
treatment.
Kemba Walker
You got the
treatment
Kemba Walker treatment
during the finals.
He's gonna get it all next year too.
But that's not the narrative on Facebook. You know what the narrative on Facebook is?
Steph is small.
No. See, now y'all see how LeBron feels. If y'all don't shut up, if y'all don't get all the way out of here with that trash, man. See, LeBron don't never have help, man. Now y'all see how LeBron feels.
Someone told me that Chris Bosh wasn't a star.
Stop.
When he signed
I don't
Miami.
have time for people like that.
A guy who made 6 All-Star games and 2
A guy who averaged
All-NBA
24 and 10 with the Raptors.
He wasn't a star when he was LeBron.
I don't have time for that. Come on, man.
We tell a crazy narrative I saw on Twitter. It was I'm not going to name the NBA writer. He said Anthony Davis is the best teammate LeBron James has ever had.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Oh, really?
So Dwayne Wade doesn't
exist.
Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade don't exist, huh?
Kyrie Irving doesn't
Kyrie
exist.
Irving just trash, huh?
So
Kevin Love just garbage.
So let me get this right. The guy
Reality.
that led the Hornets or the Pelicans to a worse record than the Hornets since he's been drafted is the best. That's the best teammate. LeBron's ever had.
Hello.
I'm telling you, man, this hot take culture is something else,
It's something
bro.
else, man. One more thing before we go, man, and I have to echo what my brother Tyrone had said, man. I have to drive this point home because it has been heavy on my mind all week, man. We here at Under Construction, we try to give you guys the entire story. We are not here just basically bashing people because they have one bad game or one bad season or whatever. And we are trying to change the culture of sports, so-called journalism, whatever you want to call it, man, because it is past annoying. I am sick and tired of major networks always promoting one team. I'm not even going to say them. I don't even want to go back down that road.
The 4-letter network.
The 4-letter network always promoting what they think y'all should click on, man. So just wanted to get that off my chest because this has been heavy on my mind all week.
Absolutely. All right, now we can go on the shout.
Now we're going to shout out. We just ganked the shout out segment. No, man.
Hey, get it
We
off
had a
your
lot
chest.
on our chest.
We had a lot on our
Yeah.
brain today.
Yeah.
Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
Oh,
right.
one more thing.
Okay, go.
Hey, man, Cam Newton changed his throwing motion. Looks pretty damn good.
So that means Will Greer isn't starting the future Hall of Fame quarterback?
I mean, well, he's obviously better than Cam Newton already.
That's why they drafted him.
That's why they
Right?
drafted him.
Right, yeah. Cam's
I'm
already
sorry,
there.
man.
Those third round Hall of Famers, man. All right, we're going to jump into our shout outs. You want to go first, Brother Cousins?
I'm going to give a quick shout out to our brother who is not here, Vince
Yeah, man,
Dunlap.
Vince.
Vince is just taking a small hiatus, and it illustrates the point that a lot of work goes into these podcasts.
No doubt, man.
Actually,
We not playing with y'all, man.
yeah, a lot of work. Like after we get done here, we got to do some audio editing. We got to put the videos together. We have a schedule. We have to manage our social media accounts, our releases, and sometimes
While all taking care of our personal lives.
yes. Oh, yeah. We have other stuff. We have 9-to-5 jobs.
We miss you, sis.
So sometimes real life has to take priority, over this. So shout out to our brother.
Shout out to Vince, man. We can't wait till you come back.
Yeah, man.
Can't wait,
He's
bro,
gonna come back. This is the official end of season 1. We're gonna start season 2 next week. We're not gonna take a long extended break because we got the draft, we got free agency,
Oh, boy,
and that's gonna
free
roll
agency.
right into the beginning of the NFL season. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Magic
So
time.
by the time Vince comes back, we'll be even better than we are.
No doubt.
We keep improving, and so. Thanks to him for being a driving force, and thank you to our fans.
And thank y'all, man.
Yes.
Y'all keep us going.
Yes,
Seriously. we having too much fun with this.
Yeah,
man.
we have a surprising following, and so we want to maintain that following and expand on it. So,
No doubt.
All right, I want to give a shout out to some homegrown Charlotte stuff. Player Made, they celebrated their 4th anniversary. Had a good time at Snug Harbor. It was surprisingly fun. Shout out to my little sister Naj, the queen of Snug Harbor. You're always out there. And also the Do-Rag Fest, man, that was cool. It's cool to see Charlotte events put on the map. You see it everywhere and everything.
Yeah.
And also HeroCon this weekend. HeroCon was here this weekend.
Almost 40 years they've been doing. I think they're 35.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And then finally, shout out to all the fathers out there again. We respect y'all. We love y'all. We need more father songs because Papa was a Rolling Stone, ain't cutting it.
Get that big piece of chicken today, y'all.
All right, y'all. I have a positive shout out and I have a negative shout out.
Go negative first.
Negative first. My negative shout out goes to Baron Davis. I don't have anything to say, but I have something to do.
Yes.
Oh God.
I'm gonna end it there.
Man, we could have a whole nother segment about that. Just go look up his Twitter account, or don't even give that man.
Don't give it a click.
He's a New Orleans Hornet. Let's move on.
Now, for my positive shout out, I would like to shout out my father, Frank Darby. I hope you watch this because trying to do something positive. But shout out to the rest of the fathers out there, man. I hope you get the big piece of chicken. I hope your family takes you out. I hope you don't get any ugly ties. I hope you don't get any socks and underwear. Maybe get some socks and underwear because everybody needs some. But shout out to all the fathers out there, man. Much love to y'all, man. And that's it, bro.
And ladies, stop making us cook on the grill for Father's Day. You get your butt out there and cook for us on the grill.
That's right, man. Light that grill up.
Light the grill up, sweetie.
And don't use no
gas. Light it up, sis.
There you go.
All right. Thank you for watching us, and we love y'all. Have an awesome week.
We'll see y'all next week.
And we're going to take fan questions next week. Sorry about this. This is a Father's Day episode. This is special.
Peace, y'all.